and talks underway to strengthen security in the Arctic. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said yesterday that technical discussions between the United States, Denmark, and Greenland have begun.
I think we're going to get something positive done. We're going to begin that process in a very professional, straightforward way. It begins today, and it'll be a regular process. We're going to try to do it in a way that isn't like a media circus every time these conversations happen, because we think that creates more flexibility on both sides to arrive at a positive outcome.
The Secretary of State says the working group aims to counter threats from Russia and China, and it was created earlier this month during a meeting including Rubio, Vice President JD Vance, and the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland. Rubio projected confidence they will wind up in a good place. The initiative comes after President Trump has said the U.S. must secure Greenland to increase national security against Russia and China. And staying with Marco Rubio, he testified before the Senate yesterday on the U.S. involvement in Venezuela. Lawmakers also pressed him on several crises worldwide, and our Washington correspondent Luis Eduardo Martinez has the details.
I certainly agree with the chairman in terms of his comments relative to Nicolas Maduro. He was bad for Venezuela, he was bad for the region, and he was bad for the United States.
President Trump's actions against narco-terrorists and his capture of Maduro have made America safer. Every American should be thanking Donald Trump and Marco Rubio for what they have done.
Democrat and Republican senators applauded the Trump administration's execution of Operation Absolute Resolve, which resulted in the capture of Nicolás Maduro in Venezuela.
For the first time in 20 years, we are having serious conversations about eroding and eliminating the Iranian presence, the Chinese influence, the Russian presence as well.
Secretary Rubio outlined a process of political stabilization that would culminate in the transition to put to an end the regime in Venezuela and restore democracy.
We are dealing with people over there that have spent most of their lives living in a gangster paradise. And we are certainly better off today in Venezuela than we were 4 weeks ago. And I think and hope and expect that we'll be better off in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months than we would have been had Maduro still been there.
Senators also pressed Secretary Rubio on the Trump administration's stance towards NATO.
And I am asking you to do everything you can to reinforce our commitment to NATO.
NATO needs to be reimagined as well in terms of the obligations. And this is not new to this president. Multiple presidents have complained about it. I think this president just complains about it louder than other presidents. And one of the things we've explained to our allies in NATO is the United States is not simply focused on Europe. We also have defense needs in the Western Hemisphere. We have defense needs in the Indo-Pacific.
Secretary Rubio warned the Iranian regime against future crackdowns against protesters and urged the regime to commit to political and economic reform.
The protests may have ebbed, but they will spark up again in the future, because this regime, unless they are willing to change and or leave, have no way of addressing the legitimate and consistent complaints of the people of Iran who deserve better.
It is important to note that after Operation Absolute Resolve, crucial Venezuelan oil shipments to the communist Cuban regime have stopped. And after the Trump administration applied pressure on the Mexican government, Mexican oil shipments have been canceled to the communist Cuban regime as well. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Luis Eduardo Martinez, NTD News.